huge. You also have this Abaddon, who's a really good counter to Magnus. If he decides to use RP, you're just going to pop the ulti, shield the other one. You have Rubik to actually steal RP, so Magnus will need to be careful.
It's really important you take good fights now as Furia. You need to ensure that you are playing with the TB meta. You've got to land the boat. Ding, ding, ting, ting. You've got now 12 seconds of damage reduction.
Ding, ding, ting, ting. Get some damage reduction. Lacoste, when we are actually trying to figure out how we're going to round this out, what are you looking for?
Well, it's going to be core, mag, shaker, definitely position 4. I don't think it suits him. So whether they want to decide it's a Bloodseeker mid. What's Furia's mid laner? I don't see it on the screen. I have a short memory.
It's mag. Or it could be a Bloodseeker mid, as you said. But I think you just go Seeker, carry,
I think
mag
you need
mid.
a ranged hero. Yeah. Definitely a ranged hero.
This is, I actually like mag a lot as a core when you're playing against RP counters, because now you're just more of a farmer physical damage carry. Like, you're actually a core, whereas if you play as the 4 or the 3, you're more about your big ultimate. And that's what Furia's actually been able to deal with here.
No, I was right wrong. They definitely need an offlaner unless they decide to play Earthshaker.
Nah,
I still think you're going to get the items, any kind of stats, mana items, which he lacks to get. So he's fine as position 4. He even got buffed on the Echo Slam and kind of nerfed the
they don't
Earthshaker.
really, there's no real catch other than the X. So some kind of, thinking maybe like you could do something weird like a core Shadow Demon. I don't know if that's something the CIS scene did pick in the past. I don't know if it's applicable here, but all right. That's to help out the Bloodseeker. You talk about speed. This is like Tron meets Flash Gordon. This Bloodseeker is going to be going at near 900 move speed if he gets surged, phased, the whole shebang.
All right, let's talk about it in its entirety now that we see both sides rounding out their draft. Who wins in your mind in the draft?
I would say definitely Gambit, because if they have all the boxes checked, they can play so fast. And you mentioned the thing about Bloodseeker running around with Surge. It's actually insane. Might sound stupid, but if he's going to be zooming there, you might not be able to click him.
Yeah, I definitely something that we need to think about now. When you look at it like that, and you look at what Furia has, the pieces that they do have, when we talk about Gambit having all the boxes checked, how does Furia take a game like this? How do they take a game like this with the draft that they have and find that victory?
They've got to do well in the laning phase. They're pretty outmatched, I'd say. They don't have much kill potential thanks to their support duo, so they need to just kind of stabilize, be even at 10 minutes, get some fights around the boat and the meta, play around Roche. Every single meta from 10 to 25 minutes has got to secure some kind of objective. If that doesn't happen, you're going to get on the back foot. Gambit suddenly have a lead. They're playing in your jungle. Even if you find counter pickoffs, they're going to be forcing cooldowns like by your tier 2. You're not going to get out on the map. Gambit will take map control to win the game. I think
their win condition is Kanka here. He needs to be active because him and Rubik need to play together, give TB enough space, and as you mentioned, every single time meta is up, they need to take objective.
All right, so we have a pretty clear win condition that you guys are agreeing on, but it's time to actually get into it. Let's jump into the first game of the series.
Yeah, let's get underway. I want to talk to a guy whose opinion I value a little higher, Cinderin.
We value everyone's opinion.
How do you like this? Like the boys are both going the way of Gambit. They like their draft. They like their control. But I'm also seeing Gambit playing a Darkseer, which was kind of like almost their undoing in Singapore when they played this. So I feel a little like, are they able to stop and actually pressure these lanes early on too?
I think their judgment is probably also leaning toward the just on paper better team, right? As far as the draft goes, I think it's a really difficult draft to just call because there's so much going on that's really weird. You have Chen with the support duo is Chen Earthshaker supposedly, which is already kind of unusual, and then you have 3 melee cores in Darkseer, Mag, and what was the third one even? Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker.
So
Yeah.
I kind of need to see it on the screen actually before I can really explain this, because it's so unconventional the way they've built this lineup, whereas FURIA is a bit more cookie cutter or more stable.
FURIA, like, it feels to me like FURIA is doing something really nice, which is they're able to address the early laning phase. Like, like you're a Baden, like we've seen this already. Like, how are you meant to gank this hero? Rubik and a Baden are able to really mess things up early on. How do you gank the Terrorblade when the wave's always been pushed under the tier 1 tower? What should be safety? Like, how's the Darkseer meant to get his levels in Iron Shell? These are things I'm a little concerned about.
The biggest thing about Gambit is that you have this Chen hero that likes to play tempo and take towers and play aggressively on the map, but he doesn't really have anyone aggressive to play with except the Bloodseeker. Like, Magnus in this patch largely likes to farm the jungle, max up in power as a mid hero. Your support duo in the Earthshaker is not necessarily the ideal partner for these plays either. That doesn't mean they can't happen. And of course, like, I'm very ready for Gambit to show me exactly what this is all about. But the way I see it, there's so much in this game on the back of this Darkseer. That was their last pick. So I think you're definitely looking to set up Darkseer for success and get him some at least levels, so you can get those levels in Iron Shell and Surge here.
But maybe that's where I'm just having my doubt, because I've seen this before and I'm worried it's going to be like a repeating record. Darkseer doesn't get levels, the Iron Shell buff's not there, and these early fights, which are meant to go the way of Gambit, like getting Bloodseeker involved, there's no extra input, and the Darkseer's just sitting there trying to farm up his mech or farm up some kind of useful item that's going to help out his team, because he doesn't offer a stun.
The other way of looking at it, though, is, well, if both Darkseer, Mag, and Bloodseeker are just farming, and you have him power, and you're stacking the jungle with your Chen, and maybe even your Shaker when he has off time moving around, there's a lot of gold to be playing. You could play farm, because the team you're playing against doesn't inherently have the best aggressive plays on the map. There's meta, like they talked about, that could give them objectives, and Kunkka has a possible catch, but there's also a lot of counterplay to the Kunkka. There's Hand of God, Chen is probably going to get a mech, you have the defensive save from Shaker, you even have the Surge once the X mark gets pulled back. People can actually run away. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Has any of Gambit's 5 heroes been played today in a single game?
Darkseer, no. Terrorblade...
He's on the other team.
No, yeah, okay. Sorry, give me my thing.
Darkseer, Chen, Shaker. Magnus has been played.
Yeah, Magnus
right?
has been played.
Magnus has been played, and Bloodseeker, I don't know. I don't think Bloodseeker's
No, Bloodseeker,
So,
no.
I always find it really fascinating when you get into a game and there's just like... You feel like, okay, in the other games, we've seen some different stuff, and, you know, some things overlap, some things don't. And then Gambit just come in with, we played Dota a totally different way than all of you. We have a different tier list. We have a different strategy, at least against this team. Is that a level 25 Terrorblade?
What?
Imagine playing level 25 Terrorblade. He's level 25, Toby. His Terrorblade is level 25.
Oh.
It's a level 25 Terrorblade.
Oh. I've got to catch up with the fact that cosmetics actually mean something to you, and the leveling system actually means something to you.
It's more like, if you're level 25 Terrorblade, you've played Terrorblade in a lot of pub games, so you love the hero, and or well, you love Misery, whichever it is.
I'm not talking about the player, talking about the emotion.
It's just a very unusual level 25 hero, is my point. There's not that many people that have this, because it isn't a hero that, like, historically over the last, since Dota Plus came out, it's had its times, but it's not, like, just flat out first pick or insane hero all the time, so interesting to see. This is a very strong aggro dual lane, by the way. Rubik Abaddon is awesome. You have the damage reduction from Fate Bolt. Abaddon just inherently a very strong laner, great base stats, high damage, has the Aphotic Shield.
Do you actually gain a lot from having FNG as the Chen down here? Like, he's not moving, he's not rotating. That job's on the ES, but like, do you actually gain enough from having him in this lane?
He needs to be somewhere, right? If he's there, he amplifies the region of Dream, which is very nice for the Bloodseeker. He'll get a creep and help him harass. And if Chen wasn't here, Bloodseeker would probably not even have a creep kill yet. And now he's got 5, because just the presence of another hero that helps out makes a big difference. Bullying 2v2 is not the same as bullying 2v1. Surprise. So he definitely needed to be there. Now, my bigger question is how Shashlo going to be doing, because Darkseer it's a strange hero. Like, over the last year, I almost want to say, Darkseer went from, or 2 years, Darkseer went from being really good to really weak to situationally amazing in like 2 games at TI, and then kind of disappeared again. And I've seen very mixed success when this hero has been picked, and honestly, it hasn't been that much. And a lot of it is just, he doesn't have that same laning presence that he used to. It just seems so easy for almost any hero to lane against him now.
Well, it's like, isn't it since the pulls have really been stopped? Like, you just can't double stack guard nice and easily and just drag down for him.
It's harder to pull the wave, and it's more I want to say Manator. Oh, we might have a situation here. This is a really good lineup for a Fissure from Exodus Vampire.
God, he's such a great hero for this too. Just coming in, perfect Fissure block. Let's Dream do the work.
Has sticks.
And they need to finish the job, however, and Courier bring in supplies. They've got shields. FURIA will survive. Difficult lane to kill.
Yep.
But this is at least a good start if you're looking at Gambit's lineup. Like, you've got a level 2 Iron Shell. This is better than the Darkseers from Gambit in Singapore.
Yeah, this is an easier lane to face. Lich, Terrorblade is about as easy as it gets for Darkseer, honestly, in many ways. So Dream takes some serious damage, but as always, you're laning against Chen, so if you don't take him down the whole way, look at all this healing coming in, just straight up back to full.
Something like burning through the consumables feels like a victory, but the big advantage is the fact that Magnus is 21 for 3 on the CS board, so he is by far in front. And how do you actually itemize if you're the Magnus in this game? Like, are you willing to have that early team fight presence? Like, what do you do when you're this mid-mag?
I've seen this trend lately with Echo Saber first item. Treads Echo Saber, stack jungle, you just farm, then you either get BKB or Dagger or Ags if you think it's an Ags game. Axe is kind of cute with Bloodseeker. You rupture someone, you skewer them, then you skewer them again. That was a courier, okay. Unusual. Chen generally doesn't kill couriers like this, but it can happen.
A little bit of mispositioning.
But yeah, I think the hero you address as Gambit is Terrorblade. Like, that is the hero that will win the game for the Dire is Kunkka setting the tempo in the mid game, and then Terrorblade needs to deal damage. So if they solve Terrorblade with their mag, they're in a really good spot.
Well, as long as he can grab him. For now, Terrorblade's still doing pretty well on the CS board, like staying equal with the Bloodseeker. There's obviously that mid-disparity. The Kunkka needing to have a good game was something the panel was flagging, and he's a little bit behind in the CS.
I'm surprised it's going this well for Mag. I thought that lane would be somewhat of a tie.
Interesting Fissure block.
Sometimes you just miss every spell, but he might still die because the block was good.
Well, he's trying to get close enough. It's like, let me give you a shield, and you'll get back into safety.
Nicely done.
This is now 3 heroes from Gambit trying to deal with this dual offlane of FURIA.
Yep. There's a carrying Bloodseekers on farm, and...
Oh, Courier.
Radiant's
Got
courier has been killed.
This is a product of this lane of Darkseer being this easy. Imagine if it was a stronger lane carry than Terrorblade. He would not be able to solo at all. But for now, he can definitely hold his own. Lich is also not necessarily the best support against him. It's also not the worst. Like, pretty good harass. Even going 1-0-1 build, very unusual here from Duster. Maybe hoping to get a kill on that sacrifice. That's what it used to be called. Gaze.
Yeah, if you can grab the Darkseer, if he's only got a level 1 Surge, that Sinister Gaze should be able to wear off most of the Surge timing. RP from GPK pulls him in, but Duster, there's that Sinister Gaze that's trying to hold him in position. Now Murdoch needs to get back to his side of the river. Able to do so. There was a TP coming in, it got cancelled. Chargelo will complete his off the top lane.
And then run back top.
Bottom lane, yeah. That's not what he wanted to do. He went back home because he had no regeneration left.
Right. Oh yeah, so he had to complete the TP because it's the fastest route to top.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he came in later. That's why his TP was delayed. I think they're trying to bring in, what, like Vampire from the bottom? Would be the only one that would make sense. But this Lich is starting to add a little bit more presence towards the mid. Maybe making sure the Magnus isn't getting easy stacks, easy farm. Sitting on the sides, he does have the 4 points of Empower because this is Radiant side mid-Magnus.
4 Empower, double Bracer. I didn't see what was in his quick
nice
buy,
Fissure. NS, Art. Trying to get back away, but Rubik has the telekinesis, so a little bit of extra speed, but
Dream's fast.
That's all the way for Dream. Through the shields of NSR, that's a little harder.
And it's important that they keep ferrying down salves here. You need to keep your heroes on relatively high health, so this Thirst doesn't get to do too much. Nice damage there from the Aphotic. We'll pop the sticks on Dream, though, so looks pretty fine for him, but you're seeing the clear weakness that Chen Shaker has as a support duo. Like, they have this tri-lane play that they've tried, which hasn't even been successful, but they're not really pressuring mid or top. Fortunately, those two heroes are holding their own okay, at least, especially Mac. Mac is 80 CS, okay.
Yeah.
That's very much at 7 minutes last time I checked, but...
Yeah, this is when you want to switch to net worth and see how much of it is jungle and how much of it is lane.
There's just so much stacking, right? But he's still, he's actually behind.
He's behind. Yep, this is what I was wondering about. Now Chargelo trying to use the double Iron Shell just to mess up with Duster. Support is nearby for Terrorblade. And remember, Terrorblade have that top lane pretty much by himself. Lich actually went jungle to farm up. NSR, is this now finally going to be what they've been looking for so long? He's got shield available too, so even if they start on the Rubik, they won't get far. But yeah,
gonna have tons of
Terrablade's
space.
got levels as well as the #1 net worth on the field. Because he's what? He's actually 4 levels in front, or 3 levels in front of Dream. Now GPK, RP is out, but the boat's already able to connect Duster. Sinister Gauge is holding him in position. Exus Vampire wants to help out. A Skewer pulls Duster up. Now we go for the RP, doing its work, but GPK low on life. Duster, he'll be the first one to fall. GPK able to survive this as Murdoch just couldn't get over to help him. Meanwhile, Shashlo will die.
Did he get solo killed by Terrorblade?
I believe so.
That is very unusual. I have no idea how that happened.
And now Metamorphosis gets objective as well as objective. Kill as well as tier 1 tower.
Yeah, this is very bad news for Gambit. I mean, it's not a travesty, right? They got the first blood. Mag gets a little bit more of a boost there in the mid lane, but
You get support for
Terrorblade's game is really, really good right now.
Magnus has almost the same net worth as the Chen and the ES, who have been sitting in a defensive tri-lane. The concern for the underwhelming Darkseer is real.
We should talk about the overall net worths, right? So Kunkka and Mag are pretty much neck and neck. It's 300 difference, but the difference between Terrorblade and Bloodseeker is 1,800, and this Bloodseeker got trial lane support from his team. Abaddon has the same as Darkseer, so the only thing going Gambit's way now, really, in the comparison, is that their supports have more net worth than the opposing side, and I think it's just number of salves bought. Like, there's been so many salves bought by this Rubik, and I think the Lich has had a couple too.
And it's actually like the attention. Like we had the heat map before of the Chen, which I think was a little bit more telling. Never even moving out of the bottom part of the map. And I'm talking like the bottom 1/8 of the map.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good item for Gambit, though, to get a shovel in what has the potential to be a relatively slow game. Plenty of potential to get bounty runes.
Well, Duster trying to go to work, pulling Dream back in. The Rupture is out, and NS will instantly TP himself away to safety. Actually ends up cancelling it, feeling like maybe there's something to fight here.
He definitely did not need to TP out there. I'm surprised he even started it.
He probably didn't realize the Kunkka was TPing in. Like, they brought 4 heroes to this bottom lane to try and have a battle. Terrablade's not up on top. He's using his illusion to drag the wave away from the tower.
I don't even think he could die there. I actually think that kill was more or less impossible for Gambit with these 2 heroes. And if they brought a 3rd one, that guy would probably have had a stun. So then the TP doesn't work anyway. But yeah.
Can you actually switch? Like, is it time for a lane rotation from Furia? Like, move the Terrorblade. He's already off the top lane. But move into a lane where you can keep taking the objective. Metamorphosis off cooldown in 20 seconds time. Do you go bottom? Do you go mid?
I like the idea of trying to send him bottom for a play here. Combining him with Kunkka, taking advantage of Magnus maybe not being ready to take this fight.
But abandoning the top lane so you can take jungle and leave the shrine uncontested.
I mean, somebody should be top, right?
Yeah.
Now that there's been a rotation the other way, Gambit sent their Bloodseeker up there. You need to consider what hero can stand against Bloodseeker and not just get blown up.
The 3 people TP top.
Oh, Bloodseeker might actually be in trouble here.
Yeah, they really want to bring it down. It's like, hey, you felt like you were a little bit more comfortable. He had an observer board watching the lane, but he wasn't watching the shrine TPs.
Did I see a level 11 Terrorblade?
I think you did.
And a level 6 Bloodseeker?
That looks about right.
Okay. Terrorblade is generally not level 11 minute 10:30.
Well, it's the Darkseer. He's just pushing wave after wave after wave after wave
and
in.
he got solo killed, which is kind of a travesty. Okay,
Hello,
that's
Skewer,
lots of spells. Well, they got him. RP and Echo. I think now you send Terrorblade bottom for sure. No RP, no Echo. This is your tower now if you make the move. If he has meta, that is. But he doesn't. He used the top, right, on the Bloodseeker kill, so maybe they're okay.
But it's definitely an objective that the Dire side need to take. You've got to remove these tier 1 towers, ensure your shrines, and this will just give huge map control to the Dire side.
Rodeo is going S and Y on this Terrorblade. I think he likes this item build and goes it regularly, but I don't see too many other Terrorblade players go for these items, or this item rather. Most of the time we see this some sort of Manta BKB build, but he likes this S and Y. The status resistance is decent. Right?
Is there as much to dodge? Is it just so you got like the extra illusion count? Like, is S and Y and just a little bit more stability to stand in the fight, stand and deliver?
I think I think in this game the status resistance is what he's going for. I think he wants S and Y Satanic so he can survive RP and Echo Slam, maybe get rid of the Rupture faster, but. Yeah, usually the reason you go Manta on Terrorblade is that it ramps up your farm as well. Like, if nothing is happening on the map, you are the king of the map in terms of farm because you make Manta illusions, they push lanes, your other illusions push lanes, you push jungle creeps into their graves. So, plenty of farm going that way. But
Never
Not this
thought-
time. So
never
let's
thought
see
about
the
how
timing.
you get someone into a grave. You push them in. It's not like lowering gently. It's just a shove. GPK going to be searched up, and yep, Iron Shell combinations. Rubik, well, he's actually got currently the Darkseer Wall Steal, but that's not going to help him much. Gets one copy of a Magnus Illusion, but they're trying to keep this Tier 1 tower alive for the moment. And at least he got a last hit on a range creep. That'll work.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Supports, it's starting to move over. Fortification's already being committed. He was looking for a denial with the illusion, but does not happen. Everyone's still just farming in their own lanes, but this is 4 heroes to the top from Gambit to take that Tier 1 tower.
This mag is really high level. It was level 14 and a half, I think, 13 minutes in, which, as funny as it may sound, it's kind of normal nowadays, which is ridiculous when you think about it. It's
Yeah, I think
crazy level.
we're removing all the XP talents. This is out. It's like, well, so what do we change? Oh, right,
please don't give
Outpost,
Mag
right?
an XP talent. Please, no.
Nah, they're all gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Finally, the rug cell was actually completed. No one gets anything anymore.
Under attack.
Did we mention Chen's mech, by the way? He grabbed
we
just a
did not.
moment ago. Usually Chen strats, that's the first real timing. You have the Chen mech plus Hand of God. There's so much healing amplification. You can group up and start balling towers. But again, it's not really the strategy that Gambit are going for. They got a pick top, they got the tower, nice. I'm curious what FNG's next play is. If it's just going to kind of chill, hit some jungle, or try to make a move, because their lineup really isn't geared for very aggressive plays right now, especially not how bad of a start Bloodseeker had. His game has been very ungood.
He's still trying to play catch up. 4.7k net worth to the, well, his opposite, which is by far ahead. I suppose it gets balanced out by the fact that like Abaddon as well as Darkseer have the same. And that's kind of one thing which we really haven't addressed at all. It's like, what's the effect of this Abaddon when he's low on net worth? Like, is he just going to be the shield? Is he just the protector for his Terrorblade?
He's a really good protector for the Terrorblade. It's his primary goal in the game, clearly. Needs to play around Bloodright, but outside of that, he can obviously ulti off RP, or he could ulti off a Fissure or any Aftershock spell if he wants at the right time.
And it's just like, let me just build you a Vlad's and any other defensive items you require.
Yeah, I think so. I think you buy Vlad's. You might even... What else do you get for your Terrorblade here? Do you get Crest? I think Crest is still good.
Can you, like at this point, do you get Lotus Orb as well? It's like, hey, FNG, can you just get away from... not FNG, Bloodseeker, just get away from us.
Lotus is possible. I was considering Lincoln's. I don't think that's that good. But there's not really much that breaks it. There's Penitence
Radiant's middle tower
and
is under
Blood
attack.
Rage. And that's it, actually. There's nothing else. But,
That's like shields. Shields are great.
yep.
Charge low
Is
and
that
deep.
Mag BKB done? I think it is. It's flying out.
Well, yes,
Jake or Dagger.
yeah, they have that initiation time now.
This game feels so different from every other game today. I don't know. It's
But
very...
it's all the different heroes, right?
It's very calm. Rodeo is hitting creeps. GPK is hitting creeps. Okay, nice Vex Stomp.
I'll just wait for that ultimate. Nope, there it is. Now, everyone, let's not attack. Let's keep everyone away. Well, skewer him back towards the Tier 1 tower is...
What's the plan with that skewer, exactly?
don't know. It's still work in progress. Back to the drafting board.
I think they could have surged the mag around him and skewered him back into his team and probably would have died. But
Just skewered forward and said, they gave him all the life back.
yeah.
Like, borrowed time. It's like, hey, maybe we
basically
should
showed
wait
three
to attack
heroes.
him.
I don't know what that was. That was weird.
So you got to stand on top of him. Wait, we've got 2 Iron Shells standing on top of him. This is going to give him all of his life back.
Murdoch's got 16-minute Radiance, so
Radiant's middle tower
I've seen this matchup a couple of times.
This could be the most useless growth bow ever.
Give it to Chen.
It's like, you want to talk about the differences, like in the games. Grove bows would be like bread and butter, like the drone lineup before an hour. It's like, hey guys, what happens when we get melee cores only?
Wow.
And if they get like a telescope drop as well, like you just go full amount.
This has got to be one of the worst item drops I've seen since the patch came out. It is so... They have some magic damage, but...
X-Mark going to pull him back in again, and Duster, he can hold him there, doesn't matter. Actually, just Chain Frost committal as well. Smoke movement. Vampire looking for a rebuttal. Blink, Echo Slam, really connects on Duster, but not as much on Murdoch. So Duster will fall, and Murdoch will complete his TP
nice
away, skewer away. Murdoch had pure... Well, actually, GPK had pure vision of him, and Murdoch will go down. So at least they get a rebuttal.
Outpost advantage right there. It's a hard spot to TP out in. If there's any hero coming nearby, they know where you are, so...
Terrorblade's
try,
farm
but-
has slowed down a bit.
Has it?
A little bit. Just
A very little bit.
It's not rising, it's like plateauing.
Oh, he gave up on SNY. He's going Scotty, but he still has it queued up. So maybe he wants Scotty to hit a timing and then
this double ulti orb is like, I'm just like stat padding myself.
Look at how many stats he has. There's a pupil's gift too. Oh, that's a very good combo.
Oh, Sinus Gate trying to track them up, and Shockwave pulls him back in, and once again, another double kill going the way of Gambit. It really feels like this is their time to turn it on.
Does GPK have every kill they have? He's 7-0, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes you just get every kill.
Dire's middle
So
tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
And FNG wants to bring down the tier 1 tower mid. He's got enough support, but wants to back off because, hey, we're back to our farming game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Vambrands. Where does that word even come from?
Vambrace?
Yeah, a Vambrace.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah, I got to remove the N in that.
Yep, you do.
Randomly assigning letters to words that don't exist.
It's just a longer bracer, right? That's why it's called a Vam brace. It's like a bracer, but then it goes all the way to your elbow.
So it's like, but like Vam, like is Vam meant to be like longer?
I mean, I don't know the origin of the word, but I think that isn't that just genuinely what it is? It's a bracer that stretches up longer on your arm. I think that's what it is. Drow has them in her model, right?
Yeah.
I think she has Vam braces just naturally.
Now, the only thing I can think of is like what, a vampire, like
Yeah, I
long,
will almost
long,
guarantee
long
you it
life
has
sucker.
nothing to do with vampires.
Damn
That's very unlikely.
But this is when we get like that connections between like vampire fangs and the Vambrace.
I don't think there is any.
They both belonged.
I don't see it, Toby. I'm not
You don't see it?
I'm not feeling it.
Well, we're gonna write it in then, because that's what we do to Dota lore, right?
We make it up as we go. That's
Yeah.
what Slacks does.
Yeah.
So it sounds about right. That's probably also what Valve does, let's be honest. Okay, so
Let's see what Slacks writes. Like, hey, this sounds like a good idea.
oh, did he say Void Spirit? Not a bad idea. Let's make one.
Yeah, should he look a lot like Darkseer as well? Yeah, because they have the same kind of glue. Well,
So
lot of
tower
pressure.
time mid.
It is.
Mag is fat. He is level 18.
And they're losing the entire Chen army before this is going to begin. And now, well, what did you actually get stealing? Okay,
Skewer.
sure. You'll take Skewer. Back into a double man stun. The Darkseer back wall and another Skewer. Pulling him back in. Duster and Murdoch trying to retreat out this, but Murdoch ruptured up. He cannot move. So he just both combinations, everything he's got. They've already lost Duster, and Murdoch, he can't survive long enough. And now maybe it's going to be NS Art as well. Another fissure, another block, but hey, he's got his ultimate, and Gambit will provide enough damage to give him 3 cores of his life. Oh! He was close. It's got tiny little range.
Well, so they kind of pseudo-defended that, I guess. They didn't lose the tower, and their heroes are respawning, and the spells are on cooldown, and Terrorblade never got involved, so...
And there's no RP. Echo Slam is up, but...
It's not great, but
look at Vampire.
It's a silver lining,
He's
though.
setting the trap. Come to me, Rubik, if you want a piece of this. All right, I'll take the courier. No, I'll blink over and get another chain stun with the Echo Slam and a solo kill.
Okay.
Well, Heiko was not looking for that when he came over to the shrine. He just wanted the shrine.
My question is, Toby, when does Terrorblade want to fight? Because it's what they're playing for, right?
Well, he was like 2 ways through 2 or 3 different items. So like,
He's got the Scotty.
oh, that's done. Okay.
Yeah. And
How's the rest of it coming?
so they put his team mid to try to defend this tower, and they got caught and killed, and he didn't respond. And yes, you hold your mid-tier 1 tower, but that was pretty expensive after all. I think they lost 3k gold on that. Terrorblade, I believe, got the bottom outpost and 1 bounty. So it's not too bad, but I don't think this is the kind of game where you can be like, you know what, guys, you guys do whatever you want. If I get 4 or 5 slaughter on Terrorblade, I'll carry. I think he's killable in this game.
No,
so.
he's looking for the Scotty, the SMY. He's still going back to complete this, and then the BKB.
He's
and
keeping
then
the Yasha going BKB.
Maybe he's ready to fight after that point.
Maybe his call is like, guys, I'm not fighting until I have BKB. That's it. And
Which is playing this like an anti-mage. Like,
I mean, that's...
I'm not ready yet.
To be fair, he's probably relatively invincible while he's BKB. You can RP him, but you can't move him in the Rupture. He ignores Shaker. He ignores Darkseer. Yeah, okay, get the BKB and fight. I could dig that. But then I don't think you wait any longer. I don't think this is the kind of game where it's just like, whatever, Terrorblade's farming, we'll
They're
win.
actually going to do Roshan. We'll put their damage to the test. Doesn't really feel like the fastest team at doing this.
Grove Bow dropped. FNG's like,
I don't want this.
all right, backpack. Is he actually going to swap it in?
Well, if you look, if you look a little down to the right, the lanes are being pushed, the jungle's being farmed, the tier 1 tower's being pressured, and yep, it looks like the Brazilians have no desire to fight Roshan.
They'll take mid tier 1.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Well, then again, you got to try and
Oh, they put
contest
the
it.
Aegis on Bloodseeker.
Access Vampire's in. I know. Shields, walks away. Nice shockwave. Every time from GPK, he's always getting someone pulled back over. Duster's wondering, so is Heiko. It's like, do I help out here? No, I just TP. We don't have to help anybody.
Knew this gear was on cooldown. GPK didn't want to RP that. I don't know if he had it at the time. If he did, I think that's kind of worth RPing, honestly. It's a pretty good kill, getting the Abaddon, but...
And they would have, like, they held the tier 1 tower, and if Biana killed the Abaddon, yeah, it would have been nice.
Pretty good.
But they're taking a lot of damage on their tier 2 tower on bottom lane. That's what Terrorblade started with the push. But it does feel like Gambit have had a lot of these, like team fight items to help them sustain. Like, you've got the mech, you've got your Hand of God, you've got your Blink Daggers, your RPs, everything else is kind of in there for Gambit. So Fury going to take is like what they need a surprise jump, need someone to be out of position.
Well, since the Aegis is not on GPK but on Dream, the best kill they can possibly get is absolutely the Mag. If Mag dies, I flat out don't think Gambit can play a fight at all. Even if they have Empower on the Bloodseeker, he doesn't seem strong enough. The damage mitigation on the Dire is too severe for Shaker to really make Bloodseeker a true threat. And Bloodseeker, I don't really think this hero enjoys the Terrorblade matchup when it's this skewed in terms of farm. Like, if you run into metaing Terrorblade, you get to hit twice and you need to get the fuck out of there, because he's going to kill you in 5 hits.
Well, maybe that's why they're looking for extra sustain. Like, you get the Crimson Guard just got completed over on Darkseer, but you just got the Pipe as well on the bat. So both sides are finding answers, one to the Echo Slam and one to the outrageous DPS physically.
It feels like Gambit are making the better overall moves. They got the Roche, now they get this bottom tier 1 tower, and the smoke rotation from FURIA didn't really get them anything. Didn't really get them anywhere, I should say. They crossed the map, but there's no objective that they're going for, so now they just end up using their smoke to farm. I don't even know if they placed a ward on the way. Maybe they did, those 2 wards around the river. But, okay, high ground it is.
Yep, no one's
GPK
there.
is strong. He's got and completed AC as well now, so...
they at least force the TPs back. This opens up the map even more. I like how because Gambit's come in so deep, the observables they place are away from the 5 sentry wards that were planted on that around the southern jungle and middle lane. They still want to come in. Like, is this actually the time to go up? Like, you have the Aegis, the Immortal. You have, like, it's a license to dive on the Bloodseeker. But can you do it?
Not yet. I think play to control the map. Get some more bounty runes if you can. Looks like this will be a 2-for-2 trade-off, though. Unless I'm mistaken. I'm never mistaken. But yeah, what's the next move? Do you feel content here? I think you do. As Gambit, you don't have to force high ground as long as you have really good map control. If you get one good pick, that's when you go.
Well, they're smoking and searching for their target. They're going where no one is. They're going with their observer would actually reveal 2 heroes who are pushing in the top lane. So at this point, Fury need to TP out. And there's 2 big ones too. In fact, there's 3 heroes. Duster, he's gonna end up breaking his way. He's not even moving. Just hands off keyboard. He was drawing something probably.
Is anybody else dying?
It's the cause trying to run out of here.
That's a good death. It's a really good death by Duster.
The sacrificial support.
Yeah, if he doesn't die there, somebody else does, and that's a lot worse. But Duster's game is pretty bad, but, you know, deaths like those are super high value for his team. Okay, opening up on Dream here. The Scotty will keep it nice and slow. Jaker, are you going to help out? Okay.
Yeah, he is. You remember, he's got the ultimate as well, but Rupture, RDO, just walks himself outside the pen, ready for another Rodeo.
Is he going to... Oh, he's going... Butter. Why does he still have this as an Y in the quick buy? Like, are you at some point? Do you...
Is it just triggering to you now? Is it?
He's just reminding himself. Oh, I wanted this item original.
Eventually, I need. Eventually, Kunkka. Well, you might want to turn that radiance back on again as he's trying to walk away, trying not to burn anyone and reveal their position. But there's an observe ward that revealed all. And Nexus Vampire. Oh, they're so grouped up. 1 second earlier, if he jumped,
really scary.
that could have been the end of the game. Like,
actually could.
You would have killed 4 heroes, GPK would have instantly RP'd, and they did. They actually got the... Oh, wait, no, that's Rubik. Rubik has the telescope.
He didn't have vision. If the Shaker had vision of those 5 heroes there, that's a snap jump. But no ward. It's just the observer vision. We see both teams. It's very unfair.
I'm actually almost sad now the telescope is on Rubik and it's not on Gambit.
How come?
just for the giggles.
Oh, because it's bad for them as well.
But it's like the two
Yeah,
it's the two items that you always want to get unless you have this draft from Gambit. I suppose actually for some of them it works nicely.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not great.
Looks like now. Nope, never mind.
Yay!
What the?
Fantastic. Dream, by the way, is carrying an item I think is pretty underrated. The Greater Verifier. I think it's a really good item. It gives, I think it's 35 damage and then 3 times 500 heals. Can really swing a fight and just
they're going
35
bottom.
flat damage is nice too.
Quick jump in, Fissure, Excess Vampire. Once again, he's starting this one off. It's a really good back. The ship will buy him a little bit more time, trying to hold him in position on top of Charge Flow on Chain Cross, hitting back across Gambit. That is NSR. Oh, he'll have his ulti triggered. He's going to be okay with this. There's the rest of his team that needs to try and send a fight, but Murdoch on the tree line. Where is your Terrorblade? He's actually farming right now. Like, not being involved. 3 heroes from FURIA down. Only one of them has buyback available. You know, you're going high ground, but everyone's so low. That's an easy dive in for Dream, and 4 heroes. Now 3 of those don't have buyback. And Rodeo is wondering, is like, have I finally finished farming? No, I'll let my bottom ranks drop first.
I genuinely don't understand this gameplay. You're so strong. You have so much to give in this game, and he hasn't even... Like, the game might just end here. He never hit a hero, more or less.
You're going to lose 2 lanes of Rax.
He had his team try to defend towers without him multiple times. This time, I think he had TP ready as well.
Is this even Megas? They hit so hard, so fast, that this could actually just be straight up Megas. Terrorblade is now finally TP'd home, but he doesn't have a full team for another 8 seconds.
Terrorblade. Yes, this is dire. Terrorblade, please return to base. Thank you. Okay, there we go. I'm here, guys. I got Butterfly. Time to farm Sanjanyasha.
Now there's an Abyssal Blade for GPK. Like, this is even better for him. He just jumps. It's like, hey, Terrorblade, all those items you got, I'm just going to stun you. Good luck.
So the thing here is, this isn't necessarily a fault in Terrorblade's play, but there's something going on communication-wise. There's a limit to how much you can throw away to give your Terrorblade farm. Like, they had multiple times, so far 2 or 3 times, they've kind of pseudo-fighting, pseudo-defending.
Well, we're going to put that Abyssal Blade to the test as Rodeo wants to try and fight this one into Metamorphosis. You got Bloodseeker TPing in as well. GPK protected by the BKB. Shift coming forward and is able to actually connect the second. You had Dream pop out of it, the back. Oh, the Echo! Everything, put it in, RP him up, hold him in position. Maybe you should stop attacking into what the abandon. Maybe you don't. Just wait out the ultimate. That could actually just be the game right there. You blew everything, but you got all the heroes you wanted, including that Terrorblade. And, okay, well, you get a Courier Snipe, which had negatives remaining on it, but you lose the Rubik for it. That felt inevitable.
This was a
weird game.
Yeah.
Odd. Very odd.
I feel like I watched modern art, and I didn't understand it.
Abstract Dota at its finest.
Dota debatable. Abstract absolutely. This game's over. Done and dusted.
I thought it was only BSJ who made those jokes these days.
No, I can too. I'm 30 now, so.
You can? Oh, yeah. You hit the big 3-0.
Yep.
You've now graduated to crap jokes.
Yep. Life's over.
Yep, and so is this game.
Yep.
They'll fountain farm if they want to. And FURIA is just refusing to tap out. They'll be dragged away. And this is not the game that FURIA thought they were going to have. But it's funny that the early game, it felt good. It felt like they had things, but those things never came together. Maybe it really is like that proper collage and we just forgot the glue.